Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song called Rocks by Imagine Dragons. And it starts out with this cool little lick where you could play open D string, second fret on the G string, and then fourth fret on the D string. And we kind of do that to kind of back up a D chord, kind of that O, 2, 4, 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 O, 2, 4. And then you'll kind of hear where it starts to move, where you play open D, and then we go fourth fret on the G, and then fifth fret on the D string, and then we do that lick again for kind of a G chord. And we do that 3 times, then we go open D, and then sixth fret on the G, and then seventh fret on the D string. So through that whole part, you got kind of that D lick, D lick, D, D, or G. Play around with that lick. And if you wanted to back that up with chords, we'd start on a D major chord. And we play D major. First finger goes the G on the 2nd fret, second finger on the high E on the 2nd fret, and third finger on the B string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And on our intro course, we end up doing that D major 6 times. And then we go to a G major chord, and we play G major. First finger goes to the A on the 2nd fret, second finger on the low E string on the 3rd fret, and third finger on the high E string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really happy. You might also want to think about taking the 3rd finger and going to the B string 3rd fret, pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. And that's another way you could play your G major. Actually, that might make that D to G change a little bit easier. And then from the G where we go into an A major chord, we play A major. First finger goes to the D on the 2nd fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, and third finger on the B string 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now you might also want to think about using something called A7 sus, where you do the first finger on the D string 2nd fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, third finger on the B string 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds an A7 sus. You want to think about how that A major chord change too. Now, a lot of times with a song like this, though, to make it more interesting, I like using something called a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So if you took the D and just tried that a lot, you'd have down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up. So we tried that through that intro chorus. The weird part is we got some G's and A's that don't last as long, so we want to just do a down, down, up on those chords. So G with a down, down, up, A with a down, down, up when we get to that spot. So we tried that through that intro chorus. We'd have D, down, up, down, up, 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 G, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, A, down, up, B, down, up, down, up, D, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, A, down, up, B, down, up, down, up, D, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, down, up, G, down. Then we almost kind of have a big stop time on that last A. Now, another strum pattern I would think about using is something called a 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, right now we're kind of dividing that beat into 2 parts with our down, down, up, up, down, up. 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that beat into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I think really matches the recording, it can be very challenging, is a down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you take the D and do it down for 1 and then up for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you're doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you're doing an up on 2, down on 3. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 up, down, 1 up, down, 1 up, down, 1 up, down. And then on the third beat, you're doing an up on 2, up on 4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 up, 1 up, 1 up, 1 up, up. And then on the last beat, then we're going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're down, up, 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 down, up. So all together, you got down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, get to those G, A halvings, you could do kind of the G with a down, up, and then hit the A with the down, up, down, up, down. So we tried our chorus that way. We'd have D, then we'll be going into kind of our main verse part, and that part gets repeated about 3 times, where we start on the D major, we do that 4 times, and then we go to a B minor chord. One way to play the B minor is kind of as a 2nd fret bar, where you do first finger across the entire 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the B string 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the D string 4th fret, and the pinky on the G string 4th fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a B minor chord, and it sounds really sad. Now, if you want to avoid the bar chord, a good substitute for that could be putting first finger on the A string 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the G string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E on the 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that's another way you could kind of play your B minor, kind of add a G note to that. And then from the B minor, then we go to A major 4 times at the end. So we tried that with our down, down, up, down, up. We'd have D, down, up, down, up, 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 B minor, 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 down, up, down, up, A, down, up, down, up, A, down, up, down, up, A, down, up, down, up, A. Something else I think about adding to that strum pattern there was bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down, of the down, down, up, down, up, you could throw in a bass note for the chord. So on the D, you'd have the D for the bass. On the G, you'd have the low E for the bass. On the B minor, you'd have the A for the bass. And on the A, you'd have the A for the bass. So we tried that verse progression with bass notes. We'd have D with a D bass, down, up, down, D with the D bass. Progression 3 times, then we go into kind of our outro, which is very, very similar. We're just kind of adding in some extra D's at the very end, or at the very beginning. And you hear this cool little lead part come in where you can play 7 on the G string, high E on the 5, B string on the 7, 5 on the high E, 7 on the high E, and then 5 on the high E. So I got that 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, and then we go 7 on the B, 5 on the B, 7 on the G, and then 5 on the B string, and then 7 on the G, 5 on the B, 7 on the G, 5 on the B, and then 7 on the G. So 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. So I'm going to kind of play around with those licks for that lead part. Or if we just kind of kept that going with the 16th with basses, we'd have D, that's the basics of how you can strum through Rocks by Imagine Dragons. So, good luck!